In one of the biggest Nazi camps, an incident happened that no one could ever imagine. A prisoner of war challenges the enemy in the flesh. The enemy that terrifies the whole world collapses because of a prisoner locked up by them. But this isn't just any prisoner. This prisoner carried out a plan for the largest escape operation ever recorded in history, using tools you wouldn't even think of, and the ending was completely unexpected. Our story begins in Germany, specifically southeast of Berlin during World War II. The commander gathered with his soldiers and told them, "Look, guys, I have a secret and today I have to reveal this secret to you. I was fully prepared for the war and I built a massive secret camp. This camp is dedicated to holding enemy Air Force pilots, and I dedicated this camp specifically not to torture them, no, so we can make them as comfortable as possible." The soldiers all looked at each other, surprised, even though they were used to his strange ideas. So he told them, "I know you don't understand anything, but I'll clarify the picture for you more. If I torture these prisoners, I won't benefit at all. On the contrary, if I win their loyalty and they end up on my side, then I'll benefit way more. And for this reason, this camp specifically, I'm turning it into a special resort just for prisoners. I'll put every means of comfort in it. A private pool, a cinema screen, a private library, pampering, basically. I want these prisoners from the moment they enter to feel like they're living in luxury." His idea was that as soon as he wins them over, all the military plans will be in our hands, and we'll win the war. Sure enough, they finished the meeting and the soldiers started executing the plan to the letter. They began focusing all the attacks on warplanes, so as soon as a plane would go down, the soldier would come out injured, they'd treat him quickly and take him to the camp. And with this method, they managed to gather more than 12,000 prisoners, and the number was huge. Imagine a double fence with barbed wire on top connected to electric shock devices, so that anyone who tries to escape gets electrocuted and dies instantly. And surveillance devices connected to weapons. They even buried devices that detect any movement underground so they could catch any attempts to dig tunnels. Simply put, this camp was one of the worst camps in the world. Yeah, I'll spoil you inside and entertain you and let you live your life in bliss, but there's hell. It was impossible for you to escape from this camp, and if you tried or even just thought about it, the smallest device would end your life immediately. Among these prisoners was a military pilot. He was really surprised by the prisoners' despair and acceptance of their fate, like they were saying, "Sir, whoever eats just to get slaughtered in the end." So this pilot told them, "Mashallah, you guys really achieved the enemy's goal 100%. You sold your conscience and you sold your countries for a little bit of food, a pool, and a cinema. Now what's the difference between you and a traitor and a spy?" They told him, "Who told you we're satisfied? We didn't sell our country, but we were forced to surrender because we don't have any way to escape. You can see the prison is completely sealed." The pilot looked right and left, like he wanted to say something but was scared of getting exposed. So he said in a low voice, "Guys, okay, what if I told you there's a guaranteed way to escape? Would you cooperate with me and we bust out?" The prisoners started laughing at him, and they told him, "Are you serious? We can see the place we're in. Even a fly can't get in or out. If you just think about escaping, you'll die before you execute your idea." The pilot got closer and told them, "Look, guys, everything has a weak point, and this prison has a weak point. And even if it's small, we have to exploit it." They told him, "Okay, sir, just hypothetically, let's assume we found a way to escape. You've got 12,000 prisoners. How are we going to gather them all? And how are we all going to agree on one plan? And the most dangerous thing is that the enemy probably planted spies among us." So the pilot smiled a confident smile and told them, "Look, first we have to invent a code to communicate with each other, a password we say to each other. So we'll meet daily in the chess hall. If I move the knight twice in a row, that means there's a meeting tonight. And whoever says I surrender means there's a change in the plan. And if someone moves the king 2 steps back, it means we're in danger. And if the pawn moves 2 steps back, that means there's a traitor among us. These are the passwords, memorize them from me." Sure enough, the soldiers memorized these secret codes and started passing them between them. After that, the prisoners sat in the chess hall and started playing in front of the guards, but the game was way deeper. The pilot sat down and they started playing normally. Then he moved the king 2 steps back and gestured with his eye toward a person, like he's saying, "Watch out, this one's a spy." So here they understood the signal and actually discovered there was a traitor among them. So he signaled to the one with him calmly to withdraw from the game. The pilot started trapping the traitor. He moved the knight twice, like he's telling him, "There's a meeting today," and started watching his reaction, testing if he was with them or a spy. After moments, the traitor enters the room and says to the pilot, "Commander, didn't you say there's a meeting today? What's the next plan?" Here the pilot smiled and made sure he understood the code. So he told him, "Look, the escape route will be tomorrow at 2 in the morning from the eastern tunnel." The traitor smiled and told the pilot, "Got it, consider it done." As soon as the traitor left the room, the pilot told the rest of the prisoners, "Guys, there isn't even an eastern tunnel in the first place. This plan is fake so I can make sure if he's the traitor or not, and at the same time so we distract the guards in the eastern tunnel while we execute the real escape plan." Hours passed. The pilot noticed that the guards started watching him extremely closely, to the point that even if he went to the bathroom, there was a guard waiting for him outside with his weapon. A number of prisoners started monitoring the situation on the eastern side, and they noticed that the guard presence there got heavy, which confirmed the fake plan worked. The pilot got happy and told the rest of the prisoners, "I want you to collect any iron you have, spoons, milk cans, wires, anything." Sure enough, days passed and they collected all the iron equipment from the dining tables, and they managed to invent a lamp from very simple tools. Step 2. The pilot went to the prisoners who knew German and told them, "I want you to disguise yourselves in German soldier uniforms and enter their headquarters and find out exactly what time the guard is light." The prisoners were surprised and said, "Are you messing with us? You want us to go on our own feet to the guards who have our faces memorized?" So he told them, "Do you think a soldier has time to memorize the faces of more than 10,000 prisoners? Impossible." Indeed, the pilot disappeared and went out at night in severe cold, and snuck to the supply warehouse. He was expecting the guard to be heavy, but strangely, the door was open easily. He entered the warehouse, which was full of military equipment, and started looking for soldier uniforms. He searched and found arranged uniforms with blank ID cards. He took the uniforms, wore one, and walked out of the warehouse in front of the Germans without them sensing anything. After hours he returned to the room and threw the clothes to the prisoners who knew German. They started getting ready, and transformed from prisoners of war into loyal soldiers of the enemy. They left the room nervous, and suddenly they heard the commander's voice telling them, "Soldier, attention. The Supreme Commander might come at any time, so be ready." Not a moment passed before the Supreme Commander barges in on them. Prestige, a convoy, soldiers, weapons, and his eyes were looking at every detail. The commander stood in front of the 3 fake guards, and they started sweating. The commander got close to one of them and told him, "Soldier, why are you this scared?" The fake guards started stuttering. Here the commander started to suspect. The second guard caught the situation and told the commander, "Sir, my colleague here is nervous because he's new and it's the first time he's seen you in real life, and he always imagines you and dreams of you." The commander was convinced and walked away. The fake guards sat with the German soldiers, and started hearing all the details from them. Dinner was ready and the soldiers were drinking alcohol, and the fake guards never drank at all so they wouldn't get drunk. A German soldier noticed their cups were full, so he told them, "You guys are new here, right? Don't you know alcohol is a symbol of celebration? It's shameful to leave your cup full in front of the soldiers." They caught the situation and told him, "Of course we know, but we 3 are Muslims, and in Islam it's not allowed to drink alcohol." So the drunk smiled and told them, "Come on, Muslims or Hindus, the important thing is you're not from that group the Supreme Commander hates." And the drunk started telling them all the details of the duty schedules and the negligent soldiers. The fake guards returned late at night, and told the pilot all the details. The pilot started dividing the prisoners into teams, and told them, "Divide yourselves into teams, and take the equipment you collected and dig the tunnels I'll specify for you. The first team under the stove in hut number 123. The second team next to the toilet in hut number 122. And the third team in hut number 104. You must dig only 9 meters and no more so the sensors don't detect us. And the tunnels are named Tom, Dick, and Harry. One of the prisoners said, "There's a problem. How do we get rid of the sand?" So the pilot said, "Everyone collect your clothes and cut parts of them and sew them as hidden pockets so we can carry the sand in them." And named this operation Operation Penguins. They would sneak daily and dig with difficult tools, to the point their hands were cracking. And one day while they were digging, one of the prisoners fainted and died. The prisoners were shocked. So the pilot told them coldly, "Take him and throw him to the dogs in the camp." They were shocked and told him, "How do we throw our buddy to the dogs?" He told them, "I'm not a lowlife, but the man died. If the Germans know we're digging, we're all done for. Do you want freedom or do you want to stay in prison?" Sure enough, they threw him to the dogs and continued digging. They managed to dig the 3 tunnels, and the pilot divided the prisoners into groups, some to escape and some to guard. On the other side, the traitor was looking around cautiously and reached the army headquarters and told them, "The situation is completely calm, and I feel the prisoners are starting to discover I'm a spy." Here the commander started realizing that everything that happened was a trap. So he ordered the soldiers to turn the camp upside down and search everything, and a state of emergency began. They turned on the spotlights and started looking for any evidence, and suddenly a soldier noticed the ground was shaking. He reported to the rest of the soldiers, and they started following the digging vibrations, and finally they found 19 prisoners who were the last group, and their bodies piled up. But the rest of the prisoners who were in the tunnel heard the gunfire and understood. So the pilot said, "Listen, those 19 guys are gone, but we have to continue." They started moving, and from fear some of them collapsed, and from exhaustion some fainted. So the pilot told them, "Whoever is tired, leave him in his place. If you carry him, your strength will collapse and you'll all lose." They had to leave their friends, and they continued walking under the tunnels in harsh conditions, until their numbers started decreasing because of hunger and lack of oxygen. On the other side, the Supreme Commander found out about the escape and ordered the use of police dogs. The soldiers started throwing bombs in the tunnels. And after days of crawling, one of the prisoners shouted, "Light! We're finally free!" They started digging the last layer, and 3 individuals came out of 12,000 prisoners. And these were the 3 who disguised themselves as German guards. As for the pilot who planned everything, he wasn't with them, and most likely he was a victim of the bombs inside the tunnel. Remember his words when he used to say, "Freedom has a price, and its price is that some sacrifice so the rest can live." The story spread and was classified as the largest escape operation in history, and the Supreme Commander executed all the soldiers who were present at the time of the escape. The story is originally true, written by one of the 3 survivors, and it was turned into a film that achieved great success. Memorial statues were built for the 3 prisoners in Britain, and one of them is a statue of the pilot, as a symbol of struggle and freedom, and as confirmation that a person is required to strive and work in this world, and the outcome is in God's hands.